Hey there folks, it's Jimmy Stewart here, hoping this is finding you all doing well. Today's video I'm going to do a little work on the Grote, the 003 jazz guitar here. This is the hollow body jazz, and if you have not seen the review I did of this guitar, please check out the link up there and check out the review. But in that review there was a couple things I said I wanted to try to do, and I'm just getting around to getting those done. One of the things I'm going to do in this video hopefully today is we're going to raise up this dog-eared P90 with some shims. We're going to raise it up because I do want it closer to the strings. Right now it's too far down, as you can see from here. Let me just show you that if you get a good picture of that. You can see how far down that P90 actually is. So I think by raising it up and getting it close to spec, it's going to sound a whole lot better. And again, I'm going to try to do that without removing the strings. Might be able to do it, might not. On this particular guitar we're going to have to take off the pickguard as well, and we'll take a look at it without the pickguard, and it might stay off, I don't know. And the other thing we're going to do is, if you remember from that other video, and again if you haven't seen it, check it out, I'm going to replace this truss rod cover with the old style Grote truss rod cover, which they were kind enough to send me. And so we're going to put that on and see how it looks as well. So without further ado, let's get right to it, shall we? Now, before we get starting on this little project, let me explain something that I'm sure somebody's going to ask me. They're going to say, Jimmy, why didn't you do this on a workbench? Well, let me explain. The workbench is currently located in the garage. It is 92 degrees here today with about a 65% humidity level, and there's no AC in the garage, so I'm not going to do it out there. It's much cooler here in the studio. So that's where I'm going to do it. They're pretty minor cosmetic type of things that I'm going to do here, so it's not going to require a bench. I should be able to do it right on my lap without too much issue whatsoever. So before you're asking, or if you ask, that's why I'm not doing it on a bench. Okay, let's get to it, folks. Okay, so I've already loosened the strings here, and I got my trusty screwdriver here with my Phillips head. So what we're going to do first is we're going to have to remove this pick guard. So let's go ahead and get that done. And it should be fairly, whoops, already I got a small problem. That seems to have a bolt down in there that went down into the cavity of the guitar, so we'll have to dig that out. I thought it was simply a screw. It is not. So we'll fetch that out of there. And as you can see on this guitar, I have not taken the plastic protective film off of the pickguard yet. Yep, it's in there. So I suppose I could have just left that on and taken these last two bolts out, but that's the beauty of recording this stuff. Yeah, that just mounts on there. Oh, that actually doesn't look bad. A little bit of scuffing. Oh, wait a minute. And that doesn't look terrible. We'll have to decide whether we want to keep that on or off. Leave me a comment in the section here. Should we leave it on or leave it off? Let me get these other bolts out of here. And I can see it down there. I don't have my little magnet here. That's out in the garage. That would be the easy way to do it, but let's see if I can dig it out with this. Almost. And we got it. Okay, it wasn't too bad. Alright, so we have that off. So now we have access to the dog ear P90 here. And I'll keep those bolts separate so we don't mix them up. Or these screws, I should say. Okay, 2 of those. I'm going to keep them over here so I don't lose them. And let's see how much wiring we have under here. It looks like that should be enough to put that pickup shim in there. And for those that are unfamiliar with these shims, these I got online through Angela Musical Instruments here. They sell all kinds of different guitar parts, and these are actually the these are the Lindy Fralin dog ear pickups. These are the Lindy Fralin, and these are the .100 shim. You can get them in 3 different sizes. One that's thinner than this, I think it's a .65. Then you get the 1.00. Then there's a 2 point something as well. But this is going to be enough, I think, to raise it to where I want it. So what we're going to do is we're going to finagle this onto the pickup. Hopefully, if I have enough room to do so. Strings out of the way. Then the last part I need to do is to get the inside of this inside like so. And there we go. So there we have it. Now, that should line back up in there, and it does. Like that. And then, like the last time we did, if you watched my review when I raised the dog ear P90 up on my Firefly FFDCS, I was concerned about having enough bolts. These actually look smaller, not as long as the ones that are on there, so this may or may not work, but we're going to find out. Hopefully they're long enough. If not, I'll have to get longer ones. So we'll see. Well, it looks like it's going to be okay. Yep, they're going to be all right. And again, I'm not going to tighten them all the way down until I get it lined up correctly. And that's looking good. All right, that looks pretty good. Now, if I was to leave this pick guard off, I would replace the nuts back in here. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. Rather than leave the holes, I would put the nuts back in there. I think it would look better than just having a plain hole like that. But alright, so we got that part of it done. Now, some of you may have seen my original review on this, and I talked about getting, they sent me, this is the old style metal truss rod cover that used to be on the old versions of these, and they since went to the plain black. But I'd like this, and they actually sent me one all the way from our friends in China there. They did send me the new one, so I just never bothered putting it back on there. The new old one. This is actually the old version that they had on there, and it's embossed and it's metal, and I kind of like it better than just the plain black truss rod cover. So we're going to put that on too. The difference is the new ones have 3 holes and this one only has 1. So it should cover the hole anyway. So let me turn the guitar around. Hopefully you can see this part of it when I do this. Or in fact, let me just stop and I'll readjust the camera. That way you can see what I'm doing, okay? Okay, so hopefully that's now in frame and you can see what's happening here. Alright, like I said, this has the 3 screws in it, whereas the new one is only drilled out for 1, or the old one is only drilled out for 1 hole. I keep saying new because it's going to be new on the guitar, but it's actually old. It's the older version. So I'm going to take these out. And why I have the cover off, I'm actually going to give this a little tweak on the truss rod as well, because back in the winter time I brought the action down as close as I like to have it, and now that it's very hot and humid, it is buzzing just ever so slightly, so I'm going to bring it up a little bit to correct that buzz. Might have to do a bridge adjustment as well. But why I'm taking this off, I am going to adjust this. And there we go. So here's the 3 screws for that. There's the old truss rod cover. Now, let me just grab my key. So here's the truss key. This also includes the key to set and intonate the bridge. Alright, that should be good. We'll check it again after I restring it and go from there. So let's just put the other one on there now. I can always take it back off if I need to readjust and see how it looks. And it does line up, which is also a good thing. Figured it should, but I wasn't sure because of the different size or the different truss covers whether the holes would be in the same location, but the top one is, which is all the one I'm concerned with. There it is. Alright. Maybe just a little bit further. Again, this has only got the 1 hole drilled in it, 1 screw that holds it on, so it's good. Okay. So again, I like that. I think it looks better. Some of you may not. Some of you might prefer this to regular black, but I like it, so I'm going to leave it on there. Okay. So now we've got the height adjusted on the pickup. We have currently the pick guard off. And I'm going to restring this. Well, I haven't never taken the strings off. I'm just going to tighten them back up again and see where we are action-wise. And if I need to adjust, I'll take it from there. Okay? Be back in a few. Okay, so we've got the new old Grote or Grout truss rod cover on there now, and I kind of like that, especially if you need to make an adjustment, because you can just simply slide it back and slide it out of the way and it still stays there. So I like that without having the 3 holes. And the older one doesn't cover up the other 2 holes they put in there, so that works out very well. I did adjust the truss rod on this, as you saw a little bit, and it's much nicer now. I'm not getting any so it seems to be nice. I did adjust the bridge just slightly. After I adjusted the truss rod, I brought the bridge down a bit. And now, if you look at that angle of that P90 on there now you can see how close that is, and that's where it should have been to begin with. So that shim works out great. And I'm going to leave the pick guard off for right now. Again, leave me a comment, tell me what you think. I think it looks pretty nice without it. I put the screws back in there so I don't lose them. They're not going to hurt anything in there. And I'll put the pick guard in the bag with the other stuff and just save it in case I need it. And again, I've never taken the plastic off that pick guard, so it's like it's brand new. So that works for me. Okay. And let's plug around and give her a test run with the raised P90. Okay. Just got this running into the Spark 40-watt practice amp there. I'm liking the height of that P90. I can already tell the difference. sounds pretty good. I'm liking it. All right, so we're going to wrap it up for today. It is Jimmy Stewart saying so long, folks. Thank you so much for stopping by. For all these subscribers, thank you for coming back. For those that haven't subscribed, please do so if you have a choice, and I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. It's Jimmy Stewart saying so long. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye for now.